And if you were living under a rock yesterday, you might have missed this huge trade. So the Suns received Jusuf Nurkic, Grayson Allen, Nasir Little, and Keon Johnson. The Blazers received Drew Holiday, Deandre Ayton, Toumani Camara, 2029 unprotected first, and some Bucks pick swaps. And then the Bucks received Damian Lillard, obviously the biggest piece of all this. But we're going to stay here for right now and talk about Deandre Ayton. Eddie, I don't think it's breaking news to say that people in the organization at the Suns were not exactly, thrilled with DA. Maybe not optimistic about what he would be able to bring to the team, and in some respects, they were looking for a way to put both entities in a better position, is what I would say. Charles Barkley actually echoed those same sentiments.
I'm shocked that he went to Milwaukee. So obviously Milwaukee should be the betting favorites now. It's clear that the Suns had something was going on with Deandre Ayton. And, it goes back to there was an issue with Monty Williams and Deandre. And now clearly it must have been something else going on in the organization. They clearly just want to get rid of him. But the big winner is the Milwaukee Bucks. And I'm not upset with what the Suns did.
So he had those thoughts about what was going on behind the scenes. Eddie, you obviously you're probably a little bit more schooled than I am on this. What was your overall take about this trade?
Well, I agree and disagree with Charles. I disagree on the reasons they traded DeAndre. I think every player has his issues with teams. Every player goes through certain instances where they're not happy. And you get out of it. We don't carry that. Charles knows this too. You don't carry that over a period of time. But I agree that the Suns had to do something, and it had nothing to do with his attitude. It had something to do with fit. And DeAndre is a guy that still wants to prove that he's more capable of 18 and 10, especially the 18. I don't know about the 10. That's up to him. But the 18, he believes he should get more touches. I have no issue with him thinking that. He's a young player. He wants to prove himself. So why shouldn't he want more touches from an individual standpoint? He was going to be the fourth wheel, and at times the fifth wheel if Aaron Gordon has it going, right? So because of that, he wasn't going to get a lot of shots. He was going to have to go work for his shots, run the floor, get on the glass, and all of that. Well, he sees himself differently. He sees himself as a go-to guy at times. So because of that, it would have been an issue. And I think I'll just finish here, and I think because of that, the fit wasn't going to work. So now he'll go to Portland, and he'll put up better numbers. He will, because he's going to get more touches. He's going to be the one or the two guy. So he'll average more points. He'll look like he's more aggressive. And then people will say, oh, why did you all trade him? Look at what he's doing. He would have never done that here.
Yeah, true.
So, that's the point.
Not as he's currently constructed. And that's where I would push back. Listen, this is where I've been guilty of this, is like I've been clamoring for him to get more touches because I felt like he could do more. However, I do think, I'm sorry, if you're a great player, you can dictate this outcome a lot more than he did. And I don't think he challenged that notion as aggressively as he could have and forced the issue more on the court with his play than he did. And listen, I'm a big DA guy. Like I've loved him ever since college, but I honestly feel like, it wasn't handed to him, and he wanted it handed to him in certain respects. And I thought he could have done more to force the issue with his play. He could have been more aggressive on the boards. He could have been more aggressive offensively instead of, taking the easy way out. And I feel like when I look at DeAndre Ayton's time here, I feel like in a large respect that he relatively took the easy way out in a lot of circumstances. And I don't think he took advantage of the situation. He was set up with two Hall of Famers, and he could have done more. I will go to the grave saying that. Now, do I think he's in a better position in Portland? 1,000,000%. I think both entities needed a change. I definitely agree there. But I just don't buy the notion that because he didn't get the ball as much as he wanted, that it was solely on everybody else to make that happen. I felt like he could have done more to make that happen.
Well, the one thing he could have did more was get on the offensive glass. That's it. You can't make somebody give you the ball. You can't make the coach run plays to get you the ball. Play with a lot of big guys. Like, they depend on you to get them the ball. Like, they're not going to get the rebound and dribble the ball up. So, no, he needed his teammates to give him the ball more. But on that team, especially last few years, he wasn't going to get his touches. Like, plays weren't run for him. Like, the ball was in Chris Paul's hand, then it was in Devin's hand, then it was in Mikal's hands. Then when KD came, it was in KD's hands. No, it wasn't going to get to his hands. And so because of that, he would go up and down the court 4 or 5 times and would not get touches. He just would not get touches.
Yeah.
So what happens mentally is you kind of like downgrade. You know, you kind of get lackadaisical because you don't think you're going to get it. And then what happens, he's in a position and they throw it to him and it looks like he wasn't ready. But 4 or 5 times before that, he was ready, he didn't get it. So it's like I said, it's a combination of the two. And I'm not making any excuse for Deandre. You're supposed to adhere to your job description. Your job description was you weren't going to get the ball a lot, go get it off the glass, run the court, right? Block shots, do the other things to help your team win. That's what you're supposed to do. He did not grasp onto that. He had an issue with it. And so because he had an issue with it, that sometimes he got caught flat-footed. And it was embarrassing, right? He got caught where he wasn't moving or he wasn't ready to catch it. And that's all because he probably went a minute or two prior to that and didn't touch it and he was open. Happens to every basketball player.
Sure, no, I know.
But the thing is, it's about winning. And I think that's why they made the move. Because I don't think they felt that he was conducive to doing his job at a subservient level to help them win. And they believe Nurkic can do it because Nurkic is not going to command. He's going to command the ball a little bit now. Don't get me wrong. I saw him in Portland. He likes to score.
Yeah, he does.
But I think that he's going to be more, smooth with being able to integrate himself with the team and understand his role. And so that's what I would say about the Deandre Ayton situation. Like, you know, the kid's still young. I think he is what he is. He has a motor, but he doesn't use it. And I think in Portland now, because the light is going to be on him, one, he's going to be mad that the Suns traded him. He's going to want to prove a point, and he's going to get his touches. So because of all that, he's going to get better numbers, but it won't lead to better wins. And that's what he's going to find out. You got your numbers now, but you're not winning. How do you feel about that?
Yeah. Also, you're in Portland. And unless you're a Portland fan, you're probably not watching a lot of those games. So you're not going to get the attention that you probably are seeking. Again, man, like I love DA. I thought I had very, very high hopes for him. I thought the first 2 seasons, you know, listen, I think the one thing that carried over through the 5 years was which DA are we going to get? Which DA are we going to get? Which DA are we going to get? Now, you know, honestly, I was sick of shit of hearing that all the time because you just knew to expect the unexpected with him. You didn't know which DA you were going to get. In the first 2 years of his career prior to Chris Paul, like he had an opportunity to take advantage of those situations. And there were even times then where, you know, he would get the ball more than he was getting later on in the latter part of his tenure here. And still relatively the same results. And so that's where I keep going with. He's such a conundrum. You never know the highs and the lows, what you were going to get on a day-to-day basis. And the talent is there. You know the talent is there. And I think that's the frustrating part for this, for everybody, is like, you know that the talent is there. And if he was able to put it all together, then this team would have, we all know this team would have been the championship favorite year in, year out. But because he didn't, there was a drop-off, and that drop-off was severe enough for the Suns to get bounced in the second round the last 2 years and miss and lose in the finals the year prior. Right. So, you know, there's the ups and downs, and that's just, man, that is the roller coaster that has been Deandre.